Hey, this is Jared Newman with the HuntLeague Mobile Lab. Today we are taking you inside Seekins Precision in Lewiston, Idaho with Maddie Nelson, Tucker Schmidt with Vortex Optics, Chris Lozar, and the 2022 HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year, Raymond Behrens. We are incredibly grateful to be partnered with Seekins Precision, Vortex Optics, and others like Remington Ammunition, Bear Archery, Mountain Tough Fitness, Work Sharp, Hunt Score, AZIAC Equipment, Mountain Physio, Outdoor Edge, Woo Wool, and many, many more. Our partners add so much value to our community, and they genuinely love celebrating the stories of hunters just like Ray. HuntLeague is a digital field journal that logs the story of your season. From the number of days spent training and shooting, to preseason scouting trips, to the hunt and pack out. The app captures timestamps, GPS, photos, video, notes, and more for dozens of species. Your hunt logs are completely private, but you may choose to share the story of your hunt with a buddy, hunt party, or a league inside the app. Everything that you log is tied to the HuntLeague point system, which allows you to rank up and see how your season stacks up against others inside the community. Filter the HuntLeague leaderboard for a specific species, method of take, month, or season. Join leagues such as the Outdoorsman of the Year, the Western Hunter, Spring Turkey, the Apex Predator, Archery Elk, Blood Ties, or go and build a team to compete in the HuntLeague Triple Crown. You can even build your own private league that is just for you and your buddies. Build it for a local chapter of a conservation organization you're part of, or people from your church, even members from your local rifle range. Enough about HuntLeague. Let's get you inside Seekins Precision so that you can see what really separates them from the competition. I was blown away with this tour, and I know that you will be too, with this sneak peek behind the curtain of one of today's best rifle manufacturers.
Get you guys some glasses. Here you go. You can put those on for me. All right, cool. Well, let's cruise through here and we'll show you where the magic happens.
Alrighty.
So one of the things that separates Seekins from a lot of the other rifle manufacturers out there is we make all of our parts under our own roof. We don't have tons of different machine shops. One machine shop making barrels, one machine shop making actions, one machine shop making chassis. We make all of our parts under our own roof. The only thing we don't make on our bolt rifles is the rubber butt pad and the trigger.
Okay.
Everything else we machine under this roof, right? Like the dust cover on the hit rifle, made here. The carbon fiber cheek piece, made here. The barrel, made here. The bolt face, made here. The extractor on the bolt, made here. The bolt body. Glenn, real quick, this is Ray.
Hey, Glenn.
This is Glenn Seekins, the man, the myth, the legend. Heck yeah. Anyway, that's the boss.
Yeah, since you make it all here, you can control your quality.
Yes, right. So we're not worried about, we don't have to have these huge tolerance windows, hoping that our parts fit together. Some guns shoot good, some guns don't shoot good because of that tolerance. You make it all here. So the tolerances are super, super tight.
Yeah.
So we'll cruise through here. So this big guy right here is called our Makino cell. He touches a lot of the parts that we make, but if you look up here, each one of these is called a tombstone. Each tombstone has 4 cutting sides, and they'll load up a bunch of different stuff, right? Okay. So they'll have big blocks of aluminum that'll go on like this, and they'll come off like that.
Okay, I got you. Now I see.
Yeah, right? So it's pretty cool stuff. But so these guys will load them up, and then this robot knows, okay, this is what they put up there. There's 3 of these big machines right here. They're all tied together. Each one has a tool bank of 227 tools.
Yeah.
And then it knows, okay, this is what they put up there. This is how fast I can cut it with these 3 machines at its disposal. This big forklift here runs them back and forth, takes them out, puts them in. Everything's automated other than us loading them up on the actual tombstones. Really what you want to look at, there's upper receivers for SP10s right there. There is element actions on that one right there. And then there's chunks of raw aluminum that are going to get made into something else. So once upon a time, this touched like 90% of the products we made.
Oh yeah.
But we've grown, and the name of Seekins Precision has gotten out so much in the last couple of years that we've had to make huge additions. So we only had like 3 or 4 CNC machines, and then this guy. Now we have all of these CNC machines. We have 4 more landing next week in the new addition to the shop out there. So if you look in there, he's cutting our PH2 action. So we get these guys, which are the Burglar Beater 5000.
Okay.
Right?
It's got some weight to it.
Yeah, we load them in there, and it turns it into this lightsaber looking guy right here. Anything that has to be perfect, we cut on the first op, right? Concentricity of the action, thread pitch, lug location, where the pins are for the firing pin, all that stuff has to be perfect. So we do that on the first op.
Okay.
After this, there's 2 more machines over here that do 2 different ops each, so it's 3 ops total, and you can put it on a gun and go shoot it.
Oh.
Yeah, super fast.
Yeah.
We get a lot of our stuff extruded, so those are scope clamps, hand guards. Even so, before we were making lowers out of just rectangular blocks of aluminum. It would take like an hour and 42 minutes to get a lower out of that chunk of aluminum. We called the company, like, hey, what if you just extruded the aluminum for us in the shape of a lower? Like, oh, I've never done that before, so we'll try it out. So now all of our lowers get extruded, and they're 20 feet. Yeah, they're 20 feet long. They're out there, they're outside in storage. But they come in here, this guy bread loafs them up, and now instead of an hour and 40 minutes, it's like 38 minutes, and it's done. So that's not even a quantifiable number after a little bit of how much time is saved, tool wear, like everything else. So yeah, that's how we get them extruded, and we put them up on the machine. So I don't know if there's a market for like 15% lowers, but if you're handy with the Dremel, right? So yeah,
5%.
yeah. And then this is the new shop. So we'll tour this real quick, and then we'll come back here and hit all these machines in here.
You got some more coming in soon, you said?
Yeah, so this edition's brand new. We had a couple machines land this week, and we have several machines landing next week.
Oh,
so,
boy.
but this is the barrel cell. So here our barrels come in, and then we do the rifling, contouring, chambering. We do all that in-house. So all these machines are responsible for a different portion of that. So what happens is we get the steel that is, where's the one that's not cut? There we go. So they come in like this, right?
Okay.
That's the burglar beater 1000 instead of the burglar beater 5000, right? And then this machine bores them. That machine button cuts the rifling, and then they set them here once they're ready to go. And then these guys do everything else. So they do fluting, contouring, chambering. Like we can look at this machine right here, and you can see it's cutting down. So it's going to contour the barrel into the shape we want.
So they all start off with the same raw size?
Yep, they all start out with that size, and then depending on what caliber we want, then that's what the bore does, and the button cuts the rifling, and then it comes in here. No, so this one's a contouring machine. Rifling machine's that one right there. This machine does all of our chambering. So if you look in here, you can see he's actually chambering the inside of that barrel for the caliber that rifle's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and then all those are different chamber reamers. So all those, depending on which one they have, it rotates in, and that's. Yep, everything is right there. Yep, yep.
So you just put it in there straight, get it indicated right, and then it does everything else?
Yep, it does everything else. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So those reamers are cut just like that, and they're like everything's Sammy spec and everything else, right? But that's how those reamers work. And then, yeah, they chamber them up. It's pretty cool. So that's my favorite one to watch, though, just because when you're contouring a barrel, they're removing so much material, and it's so fast. It's just mowing it down.
Yeah. So that's like you can switch out through the machines for calibers, and
yes,
you don't have to get another machine.
Nope, we don't have to do a whole other machine. It's a simple tool swap is all it is.
Great. So if you want to get a new caliber here, it's just that little piece right there, slip out and bolt one in?
You don't even have to do that. So all of those you see on there are all different calibers.
Okay.
So we tell the machine what caliber we're cutting, and then it rotates to the correct tool space that's already bolted in, and then it does it for us. So we don't have to change it. So they'll set up like, all right, we're doing all hunting rifle barrels. So PH2 element, we're doing all those for the next 2 weeks. So they'll set everything up it takes half a day, get everything set right. Everything's listed out, buttons are ready, everything's good to go. All the chambers, all the calibers we're gonna do are already in here, and then they should start cranking them out. And then they take it all down, set it back up for another half a day. Now we're doing all gas guns. Go. And it's pretty cool.
How long does it take to get that thing straight in there? Because I know for manual guys, it takes a long time.
It's a long time to get it straight. The nice thing is it takes a minute, but with a machine, there's a lot of redundancies built in there to make sure that you can just hold it in there, and then it clamps down on it, and it's good to hook.
I figured it was probably a little easier than
Yeah. So the machine helps with a lot of that stuff, so we're not,
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, we don't have hard left-hand turns right out of the chamber. So those are all. That's the barrel cell. And we have more CNCs that are landing here, and we've tried to get a ton of stuff automated.
Yeah.
Because it allows us to not. We haven't had to fire anybody because we've added a bunch of machines. We just allowed them to be way more efficient with their time.
Yes.
So all of these are new. These have all been added within the last 12 months. So he's cutting bolt handles.
Okay.
Or not bolt handles, I'm sorry. These are bolt bodies for the elements. You can feel it's just that real lightweight aluminum.
Okay.
Super light. But you can see he's cutting in here. This robot knows where everything is.
Yep.
He set him up on here, and he's going to change it out right here for us. If he's going to go grab the finished part. Yeah. Wow. So now instead of my guy managing.
You can strip it off.
Instead of my guy having to manage every one of these that gets cut, they just have to manage this stack.
So they just, and then they do a quality control check. And,
Yep.
What?
So like he's still gonna have to come back and manually change this one, right? So if this is a 2-minute part and this is a 6-minute part and he's waiting for this one to finish and that one's done, now this one's sitting for 7 minutes before he gets back to it. Now with the robots, they're just managing the lineup.
Robots are taking over.
We come in every morning like, all right, the T800's having lunch yet, we're good. And that big tool cradle right there.
Just measuring everything, making sure it's all right.
Yep, make sure it's in the correct spot in space before it puts something sharp on there and then goes and cuts it to pieces.
It's so crazy.
Isn't that cool? Oh, it's crazy, man. We went from no robots on the shop floor to we now have robots assembling scope rings in the back. I'll show you. It's freaking,
so crazy now.
dude, I'm telling you, it's straight up. We come in the morning and it's like, all right, no Terminators, we're good.
Were they talking last night?
Yeah. So, and that's it, cutting it. So it'll mow off all of this excess until it's just that threaded spot for the bolt handle.
That is cool. Dang, man. That's neat.
So when I say every part,
Oh yeah.
I mean every part, right?
That's the way to do it when your demand's up like that.
Yeah. So
I don't know anybody else that does that, really. You?
it really sets us apart.
Surgeon, maybe? I don't even think
Yeah.
they do. They still outsource some
for
stuff.
for select items, but
Yeah.
we're one of the few companies that we do it all in house. That's the boss's favorite saying, right? It's Seekins Precision, not Seekins pretty close.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
we
cool.
are a little slower to market, right? The demand is there. There's a lot of taste for Seekins products. We are a little slower pushing them out, but when you get them, they're right. Right? They're correct. Like they're all put together. You can come here like you are today and shake the hand of the guys that like loaded the machines, that built your stuff. Shake the guy in the hand that like bedded your rifle and zeroed it up. It's where it's at.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
anyway,
cool.
so those are hit actions he's making right there. You can see in there, he's
Yeah.
mowing them down.
Yeah.
Same deal here. So remember that lightsaber looking guy that was over there? So he's cutting, they load him up here. So there's that same lightsaber for the PH2. They load them up, put these special holders in them, and it turns it out looking like that,
Okay.
right? It's got one more op over here where they mow the back end off, and then you can go put it on a rifle and shoot it. It'll cut you to ribbons because it's super sharp, right? We tumble it and do a few other things to make sure that it's knocked off, and then it has to go through quality control. 1 in 4 actions, 1 in 6 uppers, and 1 in 4 lower receivers for gas guns go through our quality control.
Oh, yeah.
So the window is immediate. And then each one of those 4, 4, and 6, they all have the same lot number. So if one measures out of spec, they go grab the other 3 and measure that. So I mean, our scrap rate is so small because we catch it immediately.
A lot of that's wasted time.
Yeah, right? So then he knows where everything's at. This robot loads this machine all by itself, does the whole smash.
All right.
So they just have to set them up, and then it takes care of it. Which is, it's bonkers.
Yeah.
Super, super fun. So this guy's mowing them down. There they are. So it comes over from that guy with the back still on, but really close to being finished.
Yep.
This guy mows them down, and there's your finished product right there.
Oh.
Needs to get tumbled, needs to get those sharp edges knocked off, go through QC, but you could put this on a rifle, mount a scope base on it, and send it.
Yeah.
So, pretty slick.
This is smooth.
So here's a bunch of other parts we're making. What you running over here, buddy?
Big rider.
Bro, so he's running the bag rider that goes on the bottom of the stock for your hit rifle.
Okay.
So it knows where everything's at in space. It's gonna plug it in, make sure it's in, and then all those clamps in there are automated. You can get right up in there, man. It's gonna close it up, close the door. So it's got, that clamp is 3-sided? 2-sided? So it's 2-sided clamp. So it's gonna take that one out. Make sure it's good. It's gonna go get a raw piece of material off the weight list. Put that raw piece of material on there. And then it's gonna turn that raw piece of material into that. And then it has 2 cutting sides because it cuts one side, flips it over, finishes it on the other side, and then it's good to go.
Okay.
So they're coming out, thanks buddy. They're coming out looking like this. So that's the bag rider that goes on the bottom of your stock on a hit rifle.
Okay.
Robot.
We do.
It's like one guy.
We got a couple guys that do it. Like he knows how to do it. If he has problems or whatever, he comes in here and tools it all up. Does a little kung fu with it, gets it squared away. So now you can see it cutting. It runs real quick. How long is the op per side?
I don't know per side, but altogether it's 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
So 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and your bag rider's done.
Nice.
Changes tools, changes the flip side. Now it's cutting the other one that it put in there that was in the wait list, like this guy was.
Do you operate all day or is it just fine?
All day long.
You
So yeah, we work 10-hour days here at Seekins. They run all day long.
gonna get quite a bit of these built.
Yep. The other thing
3
too
minutes
is
at a time.
what's cool about these two is So he'll run this all day, making sure all these machines are doing what they're supposed to do, and then we'll stack them all up and leave, and they'll run all night. So we'll come in the morning, and they'll work through this entire pile of stuff, but they work all night without us being here. Turn the lights off, and you can hear them moving around. It's pretty bananas. So super cool.
That's great.
Making bolt head for our gas rifles. Hand guards, same way. They set them all up. This guy loads them in there. He cuts them, takes them out. So they go from this to this.
Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, 8 ounces.
That's not that bad at all.
Yeah. Yep, so these are all M-LOK slots.
Yep.
So
I've got a few attachments that I took
Yeah.
from my other one.
flashlights, pick rail, yeah, super, super cool. Is the machine that does the fluting on our barrel.
Oh yeah.
So it has to have special things to hold the barrel in place, so when we cut that fluting, the barrel doesn't bow away from the cutting tool.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty cool. It's also proprietary. Sorry guys, but it's a uniquely designed tool by our guys to be sure we can make our barrels the way we want to make them. It's not something we went out and bought. Like we invented it. Like, so this guy runs. These two machines run around the clock, and they cut a lot of scope rings. They cut our scope rings for the Seekins product, and then we also do all of Vortex's PMR rings.
Yep. I read that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. The last part of the op is either the Seekins S or the Vortex VTX on top.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. But yeah, so this machine runs around the clock. That's a big water wheel in there. So it's cutting still, even though it's loading this side. And then they'll finish loading this up, rotate that water wheel, start cutting on the next one, and it'll unload and reload the next one. All the other robots are like bump sensitive. These ones are not. So we got to put the big cages around them because they'll just run you over.
Yeah.
And they're only running at like 30% speed right now.
We got one of those on a laser machine, and that thing.
Yeah, you got to stay out of the way. Yep. So the last machines that are out here got everything else that we haven't seen yet. So this is all of our lathes, and they're responsible for the bolt handle from the bolt body that was getting cut over there by the other guy, right?
Yeah.
So it consistently blows people away. Like when I say every part, right? So that guy's making bolt handles. These guys do everything else. ATCs, bolt heads, extractors, shrouds, barrel nuts for our gas guns. These guys do everything else. So this guy's making our proprietary steel sleeve for the elements.
Yep.
So this is what we use a little bit of Seekins magic. This is what goes inside that element aluminum receiver so that we can save all the weight on the rest of the receiver making out of aluminum, but then all the pressure, lugs, barrel threads, everything else is maintained in that steel sleeve.
Okay.
So that's where we save all the weight. So it's like a race car, right? Whole cars, yeah. Whole it is. The whole engine's built out of aluminum to save weight, but then the piston head and sleeve are stainless steel. Glenn Seekins used to race motorcycles, and he still races cars quite a bit. And he was like, why can't I do this with a gun? And so we did. That's the element.
Same concept.
Yeah, right. So it's a production 5.5 pound hunting rifle. To get into that weight bracket anywhere else, it's a custom rifle. It's going to be between $4,000 and $6,000. The element is 28. Yep. And the element's $2,800.
Yeah.
So it's pretty slick. So anyway. So the quality control is a continual process, right? So it's 4 and 4 and 6 for all the receivers. So these are all up here. They have certain things they're measuring, certain things they're looking for. If they have tool wear, if one of the tools broke and it's kicking up a burst. So they're visually inspecting them here, and then they bring them in here. So they bring them in here, and these guys have all the parts pulled up. So he's measuring some of the lower receivers there. He's measuring scope rings over here, making sure that those line up on our scope rings. The tolerance we hold for the concentricity of the rings is like less than half an eyelash, which is pretty slick. So we measure a bunch of stuff by hand. And then we have this guy over here that measures stuff to like 20 microns, I think is what it is. It's ridiculous. It's a super sensitive machine. So we put them on here, it goes through, measures everything, and then it keeps everything on the database on the computer and lets us know, hey, this is where it fell out of spec. Let's go pull those other 3. Let's measure those ones. Was it just this one? Was it all 3? Is it a tool wear issue? Is it something we can rework? Is this a crap part now? But it's because we catch it so fast, it's a super, super low scrap rate. But super sensitive machine. It's like 3,000 pounds of granite, and you jump in the corner over there when it's running, and it'll measure it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This just keeps going.
Yeah, it doesn't stop, man.
No, that's great.
So this is the rest of the quality control department right here. So Mr. Lucas Mattoon right there, he's the head of the quality control. So the reason that we have the Precision name that we have is largely in part to him and his team making sure that everything we do is to the standard and the specifications that we want, right? So that's his job. So he has some pretty broad shoulders. So that's a lot of weight coming down on him and his department, making sure that all of that stuff we saw out there is getting made to very small tolerance windows so that our guns are inherently accurate, right?
Yep.
It's a time-intensive process, but the proof is in the pudding. This is the carbon fiber department. So we hand fold all of our carbon fiber magazines, all the carbon cheek pieces, all that stuff comes out of this department right here.
Okay. Where do you do that? Right
Here.
This
Yep.
is
All
the
of this stuff is the carbon fiber. So they have this big machine over here is what cuts the shapes that we need. And then they have to hand lay up the carbon fiber in the different molds, impregnate it with the resin, and then bake it so that it hardens up.
Okay.
So this guy cuts it, they stack them up, they lay up the molds, and then obviously once you put all that resin in there, they're not super simple to take apart. So they beat them apart with these wedges, pull the magazines out, and then this is what's left. So it has the inside insert, right? And then some of the goop that the resin that gets pushed out, they'll take this, they'll finish it off real quick, put in the spring and the mag follower, and they're good to go. So the magazine with the spring and the follower and the bottom metal is 4 ounces.
That's crazy.
And there's no more getting.
Yeah, and the bottom metal for the rifle, 4 ounces.
No dinging up right here at all.
Yeah.
This is.
If somebody does have an issue with the gun, this is the department that takes care of it. So Tanner runs a lot of the stuff here, and then these guns will come in. These ones are getting weighted to get quality control inspected. It's kind of a dual department, because quality control also wants to know, like, hey, why did this gun come back? But not that many rifles, right? We're sending out, thousands and thousands of rifles, and we got
That's
10 of them up there.
cool.
But it's because we make everything, so the tolerance, so like a lot of the times when guys send, oh, my gun has accuracy issues, it's usually a lightweight element rifle in a big boy caliber, 300 Winnie, 300 PRC, like, oh, I get this big vertical string.
It's usually used.
So we send it in, we pay to have it sent back to us. We go downstairs and shoot it in our tunnel. And then I call the guy and I tell him, hey man, like, I'm not gonna say that it's you, but I'm 100% gonna say it's not the rifle because I just shot 5 5-round groups and they're all under a dime.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what other factors there could be. Is it your scope rings? Is it your glass quality? Is it how you're shooting? Like, you want to shoot better groups? Maybe not off the hood of your truck with 12 dogs in the bed.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of that learning process, which the quality control team, the RMA team, myself, the sales team, a lot of our time every day is educating customers so that they get the accuracy that they want out of their guns.
So when a customer sends you a rifle back, do you recommend them to send it without their optics? And you put your own on it?
It depends. Right, so it really depends on what they're shooting. Also, there's an inherent risk of shipping, and then okay, we dropped the glass here, something silly happened. So we have Vortex and Night Force scopes that we use downstairs. So we have a 4.5 27 Gen 2, we have a 6-36 Gen 3, and then we have a 7-35 ATAC R, which are kind of the industry standards as far as like, hey, bulletproof tippy top end glass. The Razor HD line from these guys and the ATAC R line from Night Force are really the ones that are kind of leading the field that way. And so. Yeah, we put those on them downstairs and then go shoot their groups and send them back to them. Say, all right, man, like, this is what I'm getting. Here's the glass I'm using, right? So if you're trying to save ounces and you're going as light as possible, and you have a little tiny scope on there, right? Like, or cheaper. I'm gonna shoot better with a 7-35 or a 6-36 at 100 than you're gonna shoot with a 3-12. So all of the parts that we finish out there then have to be blasted or tumbled so they can accept the anodized coating or whatever heat treatment, whatever they're gonna get. So this team back here, Thomas and Lydia, they run a fleet of UPS trucks in and out of here every day, going to the different places that we do our anodizing. That's the one thing that we don't do in-house is anodizing because OSHA already has the Bible on everything else we got going on, and that's another process. However, the flat spot in the parking lot out there is for some of that. So these guys get everything blasted or tumbled, so so you can see the difference between that real shiny stuff, and then here's that Vortex one piece.
I recognize that.
Yes, sir. So you can see how it's got that little bead blasting on there.
Yep.
And then that takes it in and adheres right to it, and you're off to the races.
Okay.
Anodizing is essentially like burning the metal, is what it is. Hardens the aluminum a little bit.
Is that what stops it from getting scratched?
Yes.
Yeah. Seen a lot of people saying that they put their Seekins rifles through the brush and no scratches and no thorn scratches.
Yep.
Yep.
So here's our robots building rings. So we stack these guys up, and then this guy pulls them out, puts the finished rings down here, but it does everything. It does the scope clamps on top, does everything. And we have, Greg's not here right now, so he's losing, but the guy that does scope rings by hand is Greg, which is why this is called Greg 2.0.
Okay.
And we John Henry'd him, right? Like we set him up, all right, man against machine, ready, set, go. And Greg will beat the machine for each set of rings over the course of an hour. But if you include his lunch break,
bathroom.
yeah, right. So if you include those breaks, the machine will beat him over the course of the day, and the machine works all night. We load this up before we go home, and this cuts all night long.
Man, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, this machine stands the screw up correct, so it measures the screw, and then when you purchase 17 billion screws, sometimes the heads are a little messed up, so it measures like, is the head good, is the screw depth good, the whole smash. So there it goes. So it's gonna go get.
I love that thing going.
So it's gonna measure the screw, make sure the head's good. Now it's gonna bring it over.
A screw could be out of spec.
Yes. Yeah, by one thread, and it's too deep, right?
That is so cool.
You know, pick them up.
Just to fix them, I'm guessing you guys had these made because they slide down right back in.
We manufactured all of this.
Yeah, I figured you had to have it.
Part of the cool, part of the, yeah.
I can't even believe what I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm in awe. Like it's just.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, so like, yeah, we made this whole setup.
Okay.
A little bit of trial and error. What's the angle need to be? Right, it has to be just right, because if the angle's too steep, when you load these up, it'll buckle the caps. Yep.
This one can tell if the screws are wrong. Kick them somewhere else.
So it'll tell on this.
Oh, this will. Okay.
Yep. So that specific piece right there. So we fabricated that so that it measures height of the screw. So if the head is messed up, it'll be too long, or if the actual threads are messed up, it'll be too long. If it's too short, it knows that it's too short. It'll kick that one out. That's what that box is right there. That's the scrap box.
Yeah.
Does it ever
Just one.
get out of this one's a little and strip the screws in? I mean,
It doesn't.
That kind of stuff ever happen?
Nope. So it's like when you set robots up, there's like the first 2 weeks are like constant trial and error, and then the next 4 weeks are, oh, I didn't think of that problem. You're like, yeah, and then once you get it dialed, it's like it's like a 6-week learning curve where you're making corrections, real like pretty heavy intensive on the first 2 weeks, and then it's. Yep. So there's a big iPad right here. So this keeps track of everything we're doing, and we can go in and make changes and corrections, and then program if the screw isn't correct, but it's a magnetic screw that's holding it on there, right? The magnetic bit to hold the screw on there. How do you get the screw off?
Right.
That was we had the robot just flip it around so we had to make this piece of aluminum so the depth is correct, and then if it's a wrong screw, then this piece right here, it slides it underneath and then pops the screw off.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's a learning process. We're like, oh crap, how do we get the screw off? Small parts and accessories all get packaged here. So we're doing all these pick rails we make in the shop. We don't outsource that stuff. So they line them up, set them up, and then this machine seals them, cuts them, and then there's your 5-slot pick rail ready to go.
Oh, cool.
Right? I can make it, but then I got to put it in a box that looks pretty, and then I got it, yeah, right?
Wow.
So here's the rifle assembly line. So this is Andy. She's the one that's going to be building your hit rifle.
Okay.
So she puts together hundreds of these every week, but it starts so she gets all of the FTE anodized or the black anodized parts back, and then she has all of these sub-assemblies already set. So she's building the extenders for the cheek piece, the extenders for the butt stock. There's the carbon fiber stocks already ready to go. She puts these together, makes sure the hinge is the way it's supposed to be, assembles those, and then gets everything else put together so it comes off, comes in naked,
Yeah.
comes out with all of your stock assembly ready to rumble. So that's what she does on this side. And then when she gets a big tray of those built up, she'll bring them over here. They're getting your actions ready, so they'll scoop those up, they'll bring them over here, and then this is where she finishes the assembly process. So she'll take everything else that needs to happen, action screws, all that other stuff that happens right here, and then your finished rifle gets set up on this rack, and then these guys go and test fire them, make sure they're good to go.
You test fire everyone. That's what we're doing next.
Yep, yeah, everyone has to be fired before it leaves.
Yeah, I like that.
That is cool. Is that your old magazine too?
No, that's an MDT
I
mag.
I haven't seen that one. That's a little fatty.
Look at these. The color scheme is just neat.
Pretty fun, right?
I like that orange style. What's up with all the brass up here? This
Those are the fire. Those are the. Yep. This is the brass that was fired from this gun. That's one of the checks that we got to have to be sure we're not sending something out of here that didn't. Yep. Then if there is a problem, right? Well, what's the brass look like? I got it. So then these are the hunting rifles, and they get put together on this assembly line. So we'll start at that end and work our way this way.
That orange is pretty cool.
This is Greg 1.0.
Hey, Greg. Now you got a better job now.
Yeah. So here's all the stocks. So they get all of them are hand painted. We have a big paint booth right outside this wall out here. So all of them are hand painted. And then they come in here, they set them all up, make sure everything's good to go. Then they have sub-assemblies. So Greg here is putting together the bolt bodies and the bolt handles, making sure they're good to go. And then he'll assemble the bolt heads, so they're ready to rock. Magazines, everything's getting stacked up, ready to go. And then Cole and his team are responsible for hand bedding each one of these each one of these Havoc rifles, whether it's the PH2 or the Element, they're all hand bedded.
Holy cow.
Right? So they come in here, these guys place in the bedding compound, they're gonna smash, he's gonna smash one in there right now.
Is there a certain amount of pressure to that, or you just?
Nope, you go ahead and jump right in there. Cool. Take a peek. Breathe right in Cole's ear, he likes that.
I'm used to it.
Learn me.
Right, so he's got special screws that again, we make, right? So he's gonna tighten that action down and then clean up any of that bedding compound that leaks out of the side. And then it has to sit and let it cure.
So it sticks pretty good.
It's, hey, Cole, what's the cure time?
That's what.
So before this stuff was 24 hours, but now we have our little makeshift oven that we can bed them and we'll cut them in 2 hours again.
Yep, so yeah, we're
That's quite a bit
yeah,
different.
yeah, right?
Yeah, so we definitely have upped our building ability. Yeah. Then we just wipe off the extra.
Yep, he's gonna,
Everyone, and is it the actual action that's going to the gun?
yeah, that's the action that's going with it. Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, so what'll end up happening is they'll finish, yeah, I mean, and it also allows us to build it like it's a semi-custom rifle because it is hand bedded, right? Tucker's over there rocking out. He's gonna go fire all those guns. He's got to keep it loud because he's in a room with a huge fan and the shoot tank running with all the water, and he's firing a gun, and he's got 2 sets of ear pro in, so he's got to be sure the music's loud enough he can hear it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Freaking goof.
Voila.
There it is. So he'll take it from there. He'll rack it and stack it over here. They'll get it placed in the oven. 2 hours later, they'll spin that off, put the barrel on it, get it ready to get test fired. It'll get test fired. Then once it's test fired, they'll bolt the pick rail on the top, finish it up, and it'll be ready to go. So these ones,
Is that hard to pop out if there's an air?
so there's a certain compound that we spray on those actions that allows it to not adhere to the bedding compound.
Okay.
So the bedding compound is a super sticky, but that stuff we put on the bottom of the action allows it to separate real quick. It's like a release agent.
To fix it.
Yep. Yeah, just a release agent.
What different calibers are you guys doing?
Oh man, so
Is there that many?
yeah, there's a lot. So for all of the bolt rifles, we do 223s coming down the pipe shortly, and then we do 6 Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC, 308, 260 for the hit, 6 ARC for the hit, 6 GT for the hit, 300 Win Mag, 300 PRC, 28 Nozzler, 7mm Ren Mag, 7 PRC. I'm sure there's some that I'm forgetting. I mean, it's a lot. 6.8 Western is a new one that we're doing. Okay. So we have a huge caliber. We always get guys going, you ever thought about doing this with 45 long Colt? No, man, like we sure haven't. But we have a lot of calibers that we do offer. Come down here, I'll show you the range that we have.
The range.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor about it.
Shooting down there now.
Yeah, that's what he was just looking at.
Yep. Come on down. So this is the indoor range that we have, which is pretty slick. We had Action Targets come in and put the target system and the track in for us. And then this big tunnel right here is where we come and actually test all the rifles. So this is one of the guns that's used up at Hat Creek all the time. He shot enough rounds last year that we had to rebarrel it for him. So he's just making sure everything's good to hook and looking pretty. Floor to ceiling bullet trap at the back, and then we can set the target at different distances. Normally, obviously, we're just running it all the way down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a $1 million perk that like 6 of us get to use all the time, Tanner. This is about it. So it's super fun. That's also a perk for the employees. Like we bought a bunch of pistol ammo, and we did a bunch of pistol classes for people and some different things. So 100 yards all the way down, and then we'll reel it in, and we can all critique Tanner's shooting.
I need to get one of these to the house.
Yeah. It's pretty slick.
Yeah.
We'll still walk down, so I'm going to do pistol class, and I'm not doing it here. Like, so, not bad, Tanner. So here's his groups. Dinking around to the 0 on that one. So that's a gas gun shooting 260.
260.
Yeah. So, but like, I mean, when's the last time you saw a group that good out of a large frame AR?
No.
You don't see it.
No.
I mean, not very often, right?
That's what I'm waiting for.
But that's what sets our gas guns apart. They're as close to bolt gun accuracy as you can get out of a gas gun, and I've fired a lot of gas guns. Tucker's fired a lot of gas guns. They're super, super good groups that are repeatable, and it's not just one gun that's doing it, right? He's got other guns he's going to accuracy test today on the M series line that are going to be 0.4 or better across the board, so they don't leave here.
This is the customer's gun?
Yeah.
You just
Yep. He shot it enough that we needed to put a new barrel on it, so we brought it in, addressed it, I mean, it's lots of rounds. So instead of just a new barrel, we're like, hey man, like,
this is what you need also.
yeah, we're going to take care of you. So anything that you wear out or break for Seekins, we'll repair or replace for life. So we sent it in, and we're like, hey, let's get you a new bolt carrier group, new charging handle, new upper receiver, handguard's good, let's get you a new barrel, let's get you a new gas block, let's get everything squared away so that when we send it back to him, this is what he's getting. That's where we kind of set ourselves apart, is we go the extra mile to be sure that customers are taken care of, and in doing so, we make customers that are lifetime customers for us.
Yeah,
So.
the word of mouth of Seekins right now is pretty big.
Yeah, it's. I
So
mean,
it's because of this.
yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, what other questions?
When can I start?
Yeah, we're always hiring.
Like all those boxes green up there instead of.
I know, right? Instead of mixing and matching. Oh, I feel you, man. No, so funny enough though, the green boxes we cycle through those a lot faster than we cycle through the white boxes.
So you offer some rifles with scopes?
Yes. Yeah, so what ends up happening is the customer will call and they want to call in. So there's been several guys calling, hey, I need really right stuff tripod. I need, and they don't know what they need. They've just seen it. So then they call me and they're like, I want that.
Yeah.
Like the picture that you were with you shooting at Pat Krieger, with you shooting with the Vortex guys. I want that. So we'll build that package, box it up, send it to them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we do here.
Dude, we really appreciate you showing us around.
Oh, of course, man. Of course.
Yeah.
It's been in the works for a while, and you can ask
really
Jared.
appreciate
Bless his. So I wear like 13 hats here at Seekins.
Oh, yeah.
So bless Jared's heart. He called me and leave like 13 messages, and I get back to him a month later. Yeah, I'm still tracking. We're good. Like this is over there sweating bullets. Like I know Matty said he would do this, but holy smokes, I haven't. It's got radio silent on me.
Oh man.
But no, it's been super fun to link up with Jared and Tucker and make this happen for you.
Yeah.
So super cool.
Thanks to HuntLeague.
Yeah.
Way to go,
Yep,
bud.
HuntLeague-
Way to go.
HuntLeague crushed
This
it.
is so cool.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Thank you, Maddie and Glenn Seekins, for the behind-the-scenes tour and making this so special for Ray, the 2022 HuntLeague Outdoorsman of the Year. Not only did Ray get the tour, but he was able to pick the rifle and caliber of his choice from Seekins' entire lineup to go along with the item of his choice from Vortex' entire catalog. It was no surprise that he married up the Seekins hit rifle with the Gen 3 6-36 Razor from Vortex. One of the reasons why we're so excited about partnering with companies like Vortex and Seekins is we know that no matter what, those companies will stand behind their products with an unconditional lifetime warranty. Many of you already know that about Vortex, but Seekins carries that same commitment. And if you ever face an issue with a Seekins rifle, you can ship it straight back to Lewiston, Idaho, where they have an incredible team of people that will repair or replace your rifle. So we're proud to offer the winner of the Outdoorsman of the Year a rifle setup that will last them their entire life and that they will actually use in the field because they don't have to be afraid of dropping it or it falling. I would still always want to treat it with care, but thank you, Seekins Precision and Vortex, for continually raising the bar and paving the way for others to follow.